Hey everyone, and welcome. We've all taken tests, right? But have you ever really stopped to think about what goes into making a good one? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on the whole process. We're going to look at the art and the science of test design to really understand the blueprint that shapes how we prove what we know.
I mean, really think about it. Why is it multiple choice for this section, but an essay for that one? Why are some questions kind of tricky and others feel like a total softball? Believe me, it is not random. Every single choice is part of a deliberate, carefully thought out plan to figure out what's going on in your head.
And that plan, well, that's what we're calling the test designer's blueprint. A truly effective test isn't just a bunch of questions somebody threw onto a page. Nope. It's a carefully engineered tool designed with a very specific purpose in mind from the get-go.
And that's the key thing to remember here. From the format of the questions to the way your final score gets interpreted, every single element is a strategic decision. The goal isn't to trick you. It's to get a clear, accurate picture of your understanding.
So what's the first big fork in the road for a teacher? It all starts with the fundamental format of the test. And this one choice, it dictates everything about how you, the student, are going to interact with the questions.
Okay, so let's break this down. You've got two main paths. On one side, you have objective tests. Think of these as closed-ended. Here, you just select an answer from a list. It's all about recognizing the right information. And the scoring? It's easy. It's objective. There's one right answer, period. But on the other side, you've got subjective, or open-ended tests. This is where you have to produce your own answer, like writing an essay. And that means scoring isn't so black and white. It requires a teacher's professional judgment.
Okay, so the test is done, it's scored, you get a number back, but what does that number actually mean? This brings us to the next big decision for the designer: how to interpret the results. There are really two main ways a score gets its meaning. And again, two main approaches here. First, there's norm referenced. This one compares your score to everyone else who took the test. It basically answers the question, so are you above or below average? But then you have criterion referenced. This compares your score to a fixed standard, like a learning goal. The question here is totally different. It's asking, did you actually master the specific skill we were testing? See the difference?
All right, so for the rest of this explainer, we're going to zoom in on that first category, the objective test. It's time to pop open the teacher's toolkit and take a look at all the different question types they have to work with.
So why are these things so darn popular? Well, you can see why right here. You can cover a huge amount of material in one test, the results are super consistent or reliable, and because there's only one right answer, marking is fast, it's fair, and it's free from any potential teacher bias.
Now, let's talk about the undisputed champion of the objective toolkit, the multiple choice question, or the good old MCQ. We've all answered thousands of them, but let's get under the hood and break down its anatomy. First up, you've got the stem. This is the heart of the question. It's the sentence or the problem that sets up the entire challenge. A really good stem is clear, it's concise, and it presents a very definite problem to solve.
Next, you have the key. This one's simple. It's the single, unambiguously correct answer. In a well-designed question, there can't be any debate about it. This is the right choice. End of story.
And finally, we get to the secret sauce of a great multiple-choice question, the distractors. These are the wrong answers, but they aren't just random guesses. Oh no, they are cleverly designed to look plausible, especially if you've only memorized terms without really understanding them. They're what separates superficial knowledge from deep understanding, and that's what makes a good MCQ such a powerful tool.
So, to sum it up, MCQs are great because they're fast for students to answer, they're a breeze to mark, and they let you cover a ton of material. But, and this is a big but, writing good ones with really clever distractors, that is incredibly difficult and it takes a lot of time. And of course, there's always the chance that someone can just get lucky by guessing.
All right, moving on to our next tool. It's the true-false question. The design seems almost laughably simple, right? You get a statement, and you just have to decide if it's right or wrong. It's a straightforward binary choice.
But here's a little insider tip for you. Be super wary of absolute words like always or never. Statements that have those words in them are very often false, and they can be a dead giveaway. To make these questions a little tougher, some teachers will even ask students to explain why a statement is false.
Okay, another classic tool in the kit is the matching question. This format is all about making connections. You get two lists, a list of premises on one side and a list of responses on the other, and your job is just to connect the dots and match them up.
And here's the pro tip for making these really effective.
A smart test designer will always include more answers than questions. So if you've got, say, 5 terms to define, you might get 7 possible definitions to choose from. This is a clever little trick that stops you from getting the last one right just by process of elimination.
But wait, the toolkit is so much bigger than that. Let's do a quick lightning round of a few more creative options. You've got rearrangement, where you might have to unscramble a sentence. There's gap filling, the classic fill in the blanks. You could be asked for simple labeling of a diagram or to find the odd one out in a list of words. A grid might have you tick boxes to classify information. And a really cool one is transcoding, which tests if you can turn a paragraph of text into, say, a bar chart. See? The possibilities are huge.
So, with all these tools to choose from, how does a teacher make sure the final test is actually fair and effective? Well, it all comes down to following a few golden rules of design, no matter which format you end up using.
And here are the 4 big ones. Number 1, avoid grammatical cues. You don't want the sentence structure itself to give away the answer. Number 2, ensure homogeneity. This just means a matching section about, say, historical dates shouldn't suddenly have a science term thrown in. Keep it consistent. 3, use a random order for correct answers. Don't let C be the right answer all the time. And finally, number 4, and this might be the most important, clarity is king. The question has to be crystal clear so the student knows exactly what's being asked.
So, the next time you sit down to take a test, you'll have the blueprint. You'll be able to see the stems, the keys, and the distractors. You'll recognize the format choices and the design rules playing out right in front of you. The real question is, now that you know what to look for, can you tell the difference between a good test and a truly great one?